Welcome everyone to the Fighter and the Analyst. I am GK, the Fight Analyst, and this is my man, one of the baddest dudes I know, Peter Petty's the PFL lightweight. What's going on, bro?
I'm chilling. I'm chilling. Just hanging out, enjoying my Thursday.
Same here, watching this terrible Thursday night football we got going on over here between the freaking New York Giants and the New York Giants and New England Patriots. Terrible game. So how's it going, bro? How's the rehab going and all that good stuff over there?
Rehab's going good. I had my follow up last Friday, which wasn't too good. But biggest thing I always tell people is just about positive and how your mindset is going into anything. But I know my follow up with my doctor, he pretty much said that my shoulder was pretty shredded throughout, and I must have broke it sometime in my athletic career before, and it never healed correctly.
Jesus Christ.
So during the surgery, they fixed a few fragments that are left in there and reattached the ligament. So as far as I know, I can lift my shoulder. I can do like little things with it. I clearly can't throw a punch yet, probably. But let me just take it step by step and enjoy the downtime. A lot of times when you're in training camps and everything, it's go, 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 go. So this is the first time in a while that I've been like able to. Well, I've been shelved and forced to like kind of relax. So doing a lot of things outside of the cage, kind of getting life outside of the cage together. It's the first time also in my professional MMA career or a life that I really have money to enjoy life a little bit. So, I'm just kind of
Nice.
laying back, kicking back, relaxing with the family and resetting.
Yeah, that's great, bro. I mean, always good to have some time to yourself. You kind of need that for, a good mindset going into things in life. Just you need a reset, refresh your, refresh your body, your mind, and, everything to get through things. That's how it works in everything. Even with my day job as an accountant, I need some time to relax and just, unwind and stuff like that. So,
Exactly.
and that's why I turned to MMA. That helps me rewind, and on the weekends, it's good place to be on Saturdays.
Yeah.
Man, did you see these fights over the weekend?
So I saw the replay. I didn't see it live because, as I said, I've been kind of I've been taking a detox. The biggest thing I think a lot of it when you're in the sport, sometimes you get so engulfed. So I've been taking a detox from watching like MMA so that my life isn't so ingrained in it and just enjoying. It was one of my good friend's birthday. Yeah. He trains. He actually runs a Muay Thai school in Montana, and he was back in DC for the weekend. And it was his birthday, so we kind of just went out, celebrated his birthday. But no, I saw the highlights and I was like, holy crap. And then when I rewatched the fight, it went, I don't want to say Israel made it look easy, but Israel made it look easy. And it's one of those things where I'm like,
it was crazy.
Exactly. I mean, if there's anything I would say, it just shows that there's levels. The one thing I always try and tell people is when you break down these fights, there's skills, then you got to think Israel has a real kickboxing background. He has 80 some fights in kickboxing, and then there's MMA fighters. So, an MMA fighter, you got to be proficient at everything. And at the end of the day, if you have that background, that's why you see these high level wrestlers dominate in MMA. They have a wrestling pedigree that MMA fighters don't have. There are, like, for myself,
True.
I was a Division II wrestler. I wasn't a Division I, and I left after my.
Hey, D2 is better than just high school shit. Great.
Yeah. I mean, there
Usman was a D2.
Made all around, But the way I always like to say, yes, my wrestling would be a lot better if I did all 4 years or if I did an All-American. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, I think what we saw in that fight was Israel's striking pedigree is so far beyond the top tier MMA level. You know what I mean? And it comes to like counter.
It's crazy
that he had on those punches. So, it's one of those things. It was beautiful to watch. It was beautiful to see the finishing sequence. And I think the middleweight division better be really wary. I think I'll take him over Costa any day, honestly.
Bro, I take him over literally anybody in that division. I don't see anybody beating him because no one has the wrestling pedigree to really counteract the striking and the defensive wrestling that Israel Adesanya has. I just don't see anybody. There's no Habibs at 185. There's no one like that. There's no one as good of that kind of wrestling at 185. So I think Izzy's gonna run through 185. I don't think anybody's that good.
The only thing I would say is it depends if they don't shelf Yoel. Depending which Yoel shows up on that night, that could be the only X factor that I would be. And not to mention,
I still think he'd beat him.
You said what?
I still think he'll beat him. I mean, just because of the way Yoel fights.
Oh, I agree.
Like he's an Olympic wrestler, but when does he really wrestle?
No,
wrestle. You know, which is crazy because he's so good at one specific area, but he's like, you know what, fuck it, let's throw down. I'm just gonna just throw.
I would say for Yoel, you have that Hail Mary and that X factor. So like from a fighter standpoint, when we look at skill sets, I would say Yoel has. You got to think he's 43. He looks like he was made in a lab, and he has that X factor.
Seriously, bro.
You know, the explosion factor. Not to mention he's a southpaw, so he has that little X factor that you have to add in. I'm not saying it. I think on paper Israel should beat him, but Yoel can still land an overhand, a crazy flying knee. Just that athleticism is super scary with Yoel.
Yeah, I mean, after this Costa fight, Yoel is obviously the next fight to make, and then if he beats those two, he's got to move up to 205, and he's got to fight John Jones. Those are the kind of things that are most likely going to happen. And it goes Costa, Yoel, then John Jones. I mean, I don't see any other fight that should be made after that.
Oh yeah,
there's really nothing else.
Yeah, I mean, the guy set himself up really, really good. I mean, you can't hate on it. He's been around putting in his time, and he splashed into the UFC. You can't have a better entrance. I mean, as long as he stays away from the coke like Conor, he'll be good.
Bro, it's crazy. He's had 7 fights in like a year and a half. 7 fights. Won all 7. That's just phenomenal. And like the way that he's been doing it, the people that he's been beating, he's not beating scrubs. He's beating the best of the best of the best. Better than better, and he's gonna keep going. I think he's phenomenal, and I think he's gonna absolutely mop the floor of Costa. Costa only has a round and a half of gas tank, and he got lit up by Yoel. Mm-hmm. He got knocked down by Yoel. Whitaker got knocked down by Yoel. A guy who's stationary on the feet that doesn't move. He's got power. Don't get me wrong, but he doesn't move. He just stands in front of you and just throws down. Costa he's got absolutely nothing for him, and I think Izzy's only minus 160 favorite. I would absolutely slam that line to oblivion. I just don't see what Costa has. People are saying, "Oh, he's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt," but this guy, you're talking about a guy that has 0 takedowns in like 7 UFC fights. Mm-hmm. When he's that guy, they really take effect. When all he wants to do is just throw down.
Yeah.
That's not going to really happen. If I'm taking a striking match, I'm taking Izzy over anybody in a striking match all day.
Yeah.
With that said, that was fantastic. The card was kind of lackluster for the most part, but the last 2 fights, I really liked Riddell. That fight was awesome. Back and forth.
Yeah, no, that was
between him and Jamie Humphreys. Humphreys is a tough fucking dude, man. He is so tough to be able to take the punishment that he did and not cave in. That was great. And I would like to see him back in there because that dude can throw down with anybody. I don't really care.
Yeah, no.
And Riddell is looking to get on the. He's looking to get on the card with Alex Volkanovski against somebody. I think it was like in UFC 245.
Yeah,
get him on that card. That'd be great. That dude will just throw down anybody.
He is fighting Holloway.
I really like Holloway.
You got Holloway still?
Oh yeah, I'm all over Holloway.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
It's just because like if you think about it, if Volkanovski comes in with the game plan that he did against Jose Aldo, he's absolutely gonna get him off the floor. I mean, you're not
No,
gonna
I
win
agree.
not Holloway, and he did that with Jose Aldo, and that was kind of odd. I mean, yeah, it worked out in his favor. It was great counter punching from the outside, but it was really weird. I didn't expect that really at all. I thought it was gonna come in with a really heavy wrestling game, but that fight I'm very intrigued to watch. Then you have Amanda Nunes going against what the hell's her name?
Amanda Nunes, 35. She's not fighting.
I know. Wow, she was a flyweight. She was a featherweight champion at one point until she didn't want to fight Cyborg.
Oh,
Wow, I can't believe I
oh,
forgot her name.
Geronimo. Oh, okay.
Yeah, there you go, Jermaine
Yeah, I'm like, I should
Durandamy,
know
whatever.
that because Aspen Lab and we have the same management. I didn't even realize they booked the fight.
Really?
Oh, I didn't even realize me and Geronimo have the same management through Sucker Punch. I didn't even realize the
Okay.
fight was booked. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's actually a really good fight. People think that Nunes is going to run away with it. I think GDR really has a shot. She has a great boxing background. I think she has a great shot here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She
she's
has
really good. Her boxing is very crisp, very good. And you give me her at like 2-1 odds, I would definitely take her.
Yeah, no,
I
that's
mean,
definitely
don't
the
get me
one.
wrong. You know, Amanda Nunes is on another level, but GDR, she's a great striker, and she can hang in there with me.
I agree. That's definitely one I'm
Who else is
taking.
on the
I
card?
think when that comes out, I'll play that. Not to
Right?
mention, I figured, I hate to say, I figured Aspen Lab was going to get murdered, but even before the horrible weight
Yeah.
cut, it was a stylistic bad matchup. But yeah, that's one of those where I think if she comes correct, she can definitely finish. If not finish, definitely steal it from Amanda Nunes.
It's possible. My boy here said it's hard to hear you a little bit.
Me? Or?
Yeah, you. Yeah,
Yep,
you.
let me bring it in closer. All right. Let me see. That a little bit. Now you're all up in my head, though.
There you go. There you go. I think that should be good.
Cool.
I mean, Fat Fist, you know, you could be right. Nunez could. I mean, she's been a wrecking ball on everybody. I mean, it's definitely possible that she could just take out GDR as well. But, you know, you give me 2-1 odds on GDR. That's just, you know, my take. Small, very, very small.
Oh
But
yeah.
have you let's look over these fights for the PFL. I'm really intrigued for the first round of the playoffs. It's looks pretty good. Um, I'm really intrigued to see the rematch between Chris Curtis and Magomed Karamov. That's gonna be a really good fight.
Oh yeah.
I'm very upset that it's only a 2-round fight though.
Yeah. There's a
Really,
lot of I figured the 2 rounds I think are a huge game changer. Huge,
that's what I'm saying.
especially in MMA. I think like my last few fights really showed me how different like 10 to 15 minutes really feels, or how 5 minutes. Like if you come in shape, it's literally a game changer because there's nothing better than going back to the corner and knowing that your guy is fading. Like there is no better feeling. And I can only imagine like, two round fight, it's literally, if you're in shape, it's literally just a sprint. Whereas like the third round dictates the difference between a lot of fights where you can see a person's fading and then they start to get exposed in that third round. And that's why I think like championship fights, though before I used to think it was a little bit crazy for them to be 5 rounds, but now that I'm in depth a little bit more, I believe after 5, sometimes I think they should go to overtime.
Yeah, I mean, granted, depending on the fight, yeah. I mean, if it's so close, you're getting a split decision, win or loss in 25 minutes. Throw another round in there. Fuck it, an overtime round,
Yeah.
a sudden death.
Or even going
Winner
back
takes.
to similar to boxing. Like I think that would be pretty dope. Like maybe even and it go down to 2 or 3 minutes, but 12 rounds. I think that would be pretty dope too.
12 3-minute rounds of.
Yeah, I think that would be dope.
It should
Like
be like 2-minute rounds.
I
I
mean,
don't
with
know,
the
but that's a lot.
yeah, I'm just saying with the bad
I mean,
unfortunately arrow.
I'm not a fighter, so I mean that's your expertise. So 12, can you really go 12 3-minute rounds?
Yeah, I don't see why not. I mean, you go 12 3 minutes. What's that? 24 minutes total, right?
That's 36 minutes.
Oh shit, my math is off. Okay, 36 minutes. But either way, if you go that, you think of similar to the Spence. Did you watch any of boxing Spence Porter fights?
I wasn't able to catch it. I saw some of the highlights. It looked like a great fight. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to really watch it.
Okay, that was probably
But
one of the best boxing matches I've seen, and literally, it
really,
probably was.
I need to go back and watch it then.
Yeah, literally wasn't decided until probably the 10th or 11th round where Spence landed that hook, and it was like if that was MMA, it would have been lights out. But he got the standing 8 and then edged him out. But it was a good fight all the way through. And what I'm saying is, in MMA, I think 15 minutes sometimes. Like when you have these great fights, like imagine Yoel Israel, not Yoel, Gastelum Israel, if that was a 36-minute
Oh my
fight.
god,
How epic that fight was.
that would be but someone would have gone out at that point.
I mean,
I think.
yeah, no, I'm
I
just
mean, you're
saying.
talking about Kelvin almost gone out in the 5th round. He got knocked out like 3 times. So I mean, but in those heavier weight classes, I feel someone's getting knocked out in like in a 12 round fight like that. But you get down to like 135, 145. Those fuckers can go forever.
No, I agree, and I think a lot more. I think just more so like technique would prevail, as opposed to like the blooper reel knockouts.
Yeah, that's true.
Let me get up here.
What do you think about that fight between Curtis and Magomed Karamov?
I mean, I thought
In a 2-rounder.
Watching the first one, I thought it was close, and with it only being 10 minutes, I think I'm gonna mess up his name. I think Maga can definitely do the same strategy he did last time. Just pretty much hold him down,
take him down.
Yeah, ground and pound, and cruise to the semifinals.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing. I've been watching Curtis for. He's really a slow starter, so maybe he comes in with a different game plan. But knowing that he has to defend the takedown, I think he's not going to be able to just go in guns blazing and try to land as much as he can. Yeah. So that's really going to deter his game plan. He's not going to throw as much as he should. It's gonna be back and forth, but the rules changed this year with the 2-rounders. It's there's no ties. Well, let me not say it's not no ties, but
draws.
There's no draws. I mean, it goes based on performance. So if it's 1-1 and they can't come to a conclusion, I think it goes to the commissioner. But they're and really go about the whole spectrum of the actual match itself. So it's not just he won 1 and he won 1. Whoever wins the first one wins. No, It goes back like who really did the most damage. So I think if it goes 1-1, it's gonna go to who did more damage. If you're gonna just lay on him, and the other guy actually threw some punches and shit, it's gonna go to the striker most likely.
Yeah, no, I like
that. I mean, it's gonna be. It's gonna be good. I like that better.
That was definitely a little flawed last season, where you won the first round, you'll move on. I thought that was a little weird for sure. I would think it would go to whoever won the second round, but that was just me.
And I didn't like that at all. It really didn't make a lot of sense, and I don't think they really put too much thought into that. I really think it should just be 3 3-minute rounds. I don't see why not. Why wouldn't you do that? It's only 9 minutes.
No, I agree. Or I mean, if we're doing three, at least maybe, yeah, 3 3 minutes or maybe even lower if you're gonna
Yeah,
cut a round in general. So I think that definitely would be good.
yeah. I mean, but like you do that's 10 minutes right there. Why not just do 3 3-minute rounds and you get two breaks? You
Yeah,
know, it's less time. You get two breaks, and then you're not as depleted for your second fight because there's always a second fight, so you can get to the finals.
yeah,
So
I
I
like
mean,
that.
I'm excited. You got some other good fights like John Howard and David Mishad, Sadabu Sai versus Ray Cooper. The third, that's going to be a great fight. There's about like a foot of size difference in that fight. It's kind of you know.
Yeah. Now there's a bunch of good fights this weekend. I mean, I think this is the first time in a while that you have all the major players with the card. You got PFL, you got UFC, you got ONE FC. I think Bellator has a card, but they do no marketing. So
Yeah,
like, it's just crazy how many like all
those over the sea cards they don't give a fuck about.
exactly. So they
Yeah, I
just like
mean that you know, but the Bellator card kind of blows. I mean, it starts at 4 p.m. too. Melvin Hove versus I don't know who, and then Sakari, I think, or something like that. I don't know. It's a very lopsided Bellator card. Not much money you can really make on that. I'm taking both favorites there because I feel like they should just mop the floor with who they're taking. I just parlayed them for like about 2 units. I think
yeah.
came out to like minus 120, something like that.
Okay. That's
But let's get into this UFC Tampa Bay card. I think there's a lot of good spots on this card as far as betting wise. One of my favorite plays on this card is definitely Max Griffin at minus 150 over Alex Morono. I'm sure you know Max Griffin. What do you think about this matchup?
Hold on, let me pull up the card unless I'm going crazy. UFC. Computer's being a little slow. Who's Max
I
Griffin
feel you.
fighting?
Max Griffin's fighting Alex Morono, a white dude.
Okay. Let me peek it.
Kickboxer.
Boom, boom, boom.
Oh, it dropped to minus 145. I'll take that all day. I love Max Griffin in this spot.
I'll do it.
We're meeting that all day. Fast fist all day. All day. All day. If we're looking his body of work versus Alex Morono's body of work. I don't see where Alex really has a massive advantage. I don't think he has a massive boxing advantage on the feet. I just don't see that whatsoever. He's a BJJ black belt, but it's not like he's used that a ton. He's not good off his back. He has zero submissions off his back.
Mm-hmm.
He's got submissions against a guillotine, okay, and when someone tries to take him down. But I've listened to interviews. Max Griffin even said that he was going into this fight, drilling with a bunch of black belts, drilling against the guillotines, because that shows that he's going for takedowns, and that's Morono's weakness. And what I like about what he said was he's not looking for a fight of the night bonus. He's looking for a performance of the night bonus. He's looking to go in there and actually smash this dude. He knows his weakness is to take this fight to the mat, and that's what he's going to do. And I love this. Alex Morono has 15% takedown defense in his last 3 fights that he had to defend a takedown. Gave up 6 of 7 takedowns. Max has been revamping his offensive wrestling. He has 17 takedowns attempted. He landed 9 of those in his last 3. He's been looking great. He's landing 55% opposed to Alex, who's only landing at 41%, who's a kickboxer. So I think this guy's been looking great. He's fought much better competition than Alex Morono and his opponents. You're talking about Oleski Dos Santos, Thiago Alves, Curtis Millender, Colby Covington coming into the UFC. So this guy's been fighting killers from the jump since forever, and he finally gets to step down and compete Alex Morono. And I'm loving the spot here. I'm minus 145.
Yep, I'm following you on that one.
I just think he just has a massive advantage in that wrestling department. I know Alex Morono will give him some fits on the feet. He's not terrible. He's not a terrible fighter, but I think the massive advantage that Max has is a glaring weakness that Alex has that I just think Max is definitely going to take over. And that strength of schedule that you and I both talked about is just a massive difference between the two. Alex hasn't faced anybody on the level that Max has faced. Not a single person. I don't think he's faced anybody as good as Max either. So, I think that's going to definitely play a big factor in this one as well.
Yep, I like that.
Let's talk. He wants my boy over here wants to talk Cub and Kron. Very interesting fight. It's a very interesting fight. What do you think about this one?
That is a hard one. The MMA guy in me and wants to choose Cub. Knowing Cub's losses, I want to go with Kron. So like, I can really just see Kron going out there, double leg and single leg, take his back, rear naked choke, or even pulling guard and winning by guillotine. There's not much. I think in the ground level, Kron is night and day, like light years above Cub, and Cub knows that.
That's true.
It's just a matter of, can Cub stop it from going? And then when we look at Cub's losses, he got caught by guillotine by, who is that? Ortega? Is that Ortega who pulled guard on him?
No, Ortega. Yeah, Ortega. Yeah, that's right. Yep, that's true. And it wasn't just a guillotine; it was a standing guillotine.
Yeah, and that's
he literally jumped. It was sick.
Exactly, and that's the thing. If we look at Ortega has good jiu-jitsu, but it's not Kron jiu-jitsu. That's right. Ortega jiu-jitsu on steroids. So, at the end of the day, if we look at the way Cubs lost in the past, this is the perfect guy for him to lose by that again. And I don't think, looking at Cubs training, I don't think he's done anything in regards to really combat Kron's jiu-jitsu. There's always that, like I told you, the MMA factor where he can catch him. But, he's out there training with Nate. He's out there training with Nick Diaz. I don't really think Kron would go into this fight not doing any stand-up or anything. So I'm, as much as it hurts the MMA guy in me, I'm going to go with Kron on this one.
I mean, that's definitely valid. Everything you said. And you're probably going to be right on this, just because of how Cub has lost in his, tenure in the UFC. His majority by submission. I'm just taking Cub because I think it's just a massive step up for Kron, and Kron has to show me that he can beat somebody of the caliber of Cub. And then after this, if he subs him, I'm on the bandwagon all day. I have nothing against him anymore. I'm on him all day against probably almost anybody. At that point, he just has to show me. And getting Cub at plus 150, who's been in there with some of the best, while Kron has just beaten Alex Caceres, and now he's getting Cub Swanson. And Alex Caceres has 7 losses by submission out of his 13 losses. So it's not like Alex Caceres was really going to put up a fight in that regards. Granted, Cub lost a lot by submission too, but in his last 4 fights, he's only given up 1 of 11 takedowns. And he's defended 8 takedowns from Frankie Edgar as well.
Yeah.
So
my thought is
his last fight, he arguably won as well. So, he's tough as nails. And if Kron cannot get this fight to the mat, I just don't see how he wins. But also, another tidbit, Cub has never been finished in top control either. So he's never been finished while in someone's guard. It's always been either a back take or he was on bottom. So if he does pull guard, I don't know if Kron's gonna be really able to finish him. Cub is still a jiu-jitsu black belt.
I mean,
He's got. I think he's got enough to not get finished in his guard. But when he gets that back, it's all she wrote.
I firmly believe there are jiu-jitsu black belts, and then there are real jiu-jitsu black belts, and Kron is a real jiu-jitsu black belt. So like,
I mean,
the way that
you're
I
true.
look at it,
You're right about that.
Yeah, he got choked out by Ortega. He got choked out by Max Holloway. He got finished by Edgar. He got finished by Hanato Makano. So, if we're rolling dice, Shane Burgos isn't a jiu-jitsu black belt. If we're rolling the dice and we're going, who does this guy get finished by? It's jiu-jitsu guys. And Kron is one of the best to ever do it. He comes from the family that basically put jiu-jitsu on the map. So if I have to, parlay-wise, I would play Kron. And I'm not going to put, like, the house on him or anything. But if you're trying to pick and choose...
Yeah, I feel you on that. No, I mean, it's definitely a good parlayed piece. -1. I think he's -170. I wouldn't lay the house on him there, but you have good arguments on both sides. You have the inexperience of Kron, sick, amazing jiu-jitsu. Then you have the experience of Cub, but the horrible submission defense of Cub. So. Yeah, that's one very, very intriguing fight that I really can't wait to watch.
Yeah.
Next fight that's probably going to be very very interesting will probably be James Vick versus Nico Price in James Vick's second fight at welterweight. That's going to be interesting.
Oh gosh.
What, you think Nico Price is going to go in there and just smash his skull in?
No, I'm taking my boy Vic, man. I gotta take my boy Vic.
Okay.
Y'all can call it.
Okay, good, because bro, I'm with you on this though. I swear, I know everybody is giving Vic a ton of shit for getting knocked out in 2 of his last 3, but that dude is still tough. He knows what he's doing. He needed to really change his ways. I've listened to his interviews. He went over. Maybe he's working on some of his clinch work, and working inside the clinch. Maybe that'll help him stay away from some of that power that Nico Price is gonna, bring to the table here. And I really like that he knows that he's been too upright in his striking, and he really needs to hone in on his skills and get that worked out.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, right now this might be a team bias, but my boy James Vick, I've known him for a few years now. He comes up to Lloyd's to finish up his camp. He is a workhorse. So, I love Nico Price's style. I like his fight resume, but at the end of the day, I got to ride with my boy Vic. I think he gets back on track. Am I saying this? If I had to pray to the MMA gods, this is not my ideal welterweight matchup for him. Coming up to welterweight, why couldn't we get somebody like one of the smaller ones? Like who? Like Millender. I would have liked James Vick versus Millender. Why couldn't we get him? But
that would be a great fight.
Yeah. I'm just saying, if I was playing matchmaker, I think that's who they should have gave him, or one of those welterweights. But I think this one, I think it's a really good fight. Nico Price has a very awkward style, but I don't think people give James Vick the credit that he deserves. And what I mean by that is, he's awkwardly strong. He has those long limbs. Yes, you can look at it and say, all right, he lost to Felder, but let's not act like Felder didn't go to the hospital after this fight. Maybe one more body kick, he would have got Felder out of there. You look at the same thing with Justin Gaethje. Everybody's gonna, look at it because of the press conference. But when you really get back to outside of the lines, you look at his interview. Vic hurt him with a left body kick. People don't realize that landed flush, and then unfortunately Vic just got caught. So a lot of these fights, Vic is, and then even a Dan Hooker. Dan Hooker, he lands a clean right and then gets caught again. So there's a lot of these fights. It all comes down to rolling your dice, and what happens happens. Strategically, unfortunately, in MMA, you got 15 minutes to make a lasting impression, and then people are gonna remember however that fight ended in their head and not remember the details. So, for me, I always tell people, in this game, you have the highest highs and the lowest of lows, and you're only always as good as your last fight. So, Vic knows what he has to do. Vic knows the athlete he is, and he just has to go in there, put it on the line, remember the basics, and use that right hand, Vic, please. I think he can do it. He can get it done. I think it's a good power play that people are sleeping on.
Yeah, and majority of the time, if Price loses, it's going to be inside the distance. So, with that said, if Vic gets his win and gets it inside the distance, it's going to be a very good thing for him. It's really going to shoot him up the ladder and give him a bigger chance of a bigger fight coming up. So, I kind of think that's maybe why he took this fight, knowing that this is a stepping stone to get into the top 15 probably right away. Right after this, take the top after that. He needs to go in there and show everybody that he's for real at 170 pounds. And I really do think he can definitely do it here. Stats-wise, he's definitely the much better striker than Price. I mean, it's night and day. Price he's got power for days, but he's not technical whatsoever.
No.
You got a guy that's only landing at 33%, not even, 25% or 28% of his strikes. That's horrible. That's absolutely atrocious. He's getting outstruck by 12% by his opponents. And most of the time, his wins are comeback wins. They're comeback knockouts. So he's coming back and getting these knockout wins. That fight against Randy Brown, he got taken down, hammer fits. That fight against what's his name? The other dude that's literally just like James Vick, tall, lanky, white dude. He was losing that fight. He was getting outstruck, and he came back and knocked him out. He's got that knockout power to really change the tides, but I think Vic is much more technically sound and a much better technical striker than Price is. It means, there you go.
Yeah, I was actually.
So I mean, he shattered his face and his leg at the same time, which is kind of insane. That's the kind of power that Price has. But if he can't land that flush shot, I don't see Price winning this fight. He needs to land that flush shot, or he's going to get picked apart the entirety of that fight. And I think that's what Vic is going to be able to do. Yeah. Definitely. What else? What other really intriguing fights? Do you hear about that? About that controversy in the main event with Joanna Jacek not being able to possibly make weight?
Yep.
She's still trying to she's still trying to cut that weight. She's got until tomorrow. I think she's gonna make it 116 pounds. But people are trying to say that she's gonna be depleted and this and that. I mean, she's made 115 pounds all the time. I don't think she's gonna be depleted if she gets there.
I mean, there is the only thing where I guess a little bit of it talking about her breast implants. So, I think that's the big talk of the town. Which is, I mean, I'm not a girl, but if I was gonna get implants, I would wait until after my career. Especially if I was on the verge of, if a few weight cuts were hard on me, I don't know why I would get them. Don't get me wrong, I'm not a girl, so I can't really talk. I don't want to sound sexist or anything. That just doesn't seem like a smart career move.
Right.
Like
not in mid career.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
You know, she's not on her decline. She's still good. She's still one of the best ever.
Exactly. That's
You know,
like
so it's
I was
like
like it just reminds me like if I was like an office job. I'm not sure though. I have an office job. I'm not sure I would go get a neck tat and then come into the office like, hey guys, how's everything doing? And just keep going like everything's gonna be all right. I just feel like if you're gonna get breast implants, you would like all right. I just feel like it's obvious if you get breast implants, they weigh something. My first thing if I was a chick, I was like, how much do these things weigh? Because I have to make weight. Well, I don't know. I just feel like
you're like, is this 2 pounds? How much more do I need to cut here?
exactly. And I know she hasn't had the most easiest weight cuts back in the day, but
No, that's
I don't
true.
know. That's a different argument, I guess.
that's funny as fuck though. But it's true though. I mean, she's still on the top of her game, and then like now you're trying to get some breast implants. I mean, I get it. She looks phenomenal. Don't get me wrong. She looks phenomenal. So I'm making her job a lot harder to get down to 115 pounds.
I mean, you can't be mad. I did notice that she has been posting a lot more, and it's funny because the inner guy in me was like, "Why does Joanna look different?" And now, when all this controversy came out, I was like, "Oh yeah, that's because she got some boobies. She didn't have those before, like 3 years ago when she debuted." and she thought nobody was gonna notice. That's the worst part. Like something. Did you get a haircut, Joanna? It's just, I don't know. It's a funny topic. I hope she makes weight. I hope the fight stays on. But I don't know. It just, why would you do? I don't know. It just baffles me. But once again, I don't want to anger any people out there because everybody gets offended about everything. So I don't want to sound sexist. But why, Joanna? Just why? I don't get it.
No, there's a lot of that that talk on Twitter going. You have the guys in MMA community talking about she ain't making weight because of her breast implants, and then you have the girls at MMA. Oh, you guys are sexist and blah blah blah. Why you keep talking? I'm like, I just completely stayed out of it. I'm not trying to offend anybody. Nah, I'm not even gonna talk about it. I'm like,
Yeah, exactly. But I don't know. I think it's
yeah,
a good
fuck
fight.
that.
I love Joanna. I think she's when you look at striking at that level, you got Joanna, and then you got Valentina a little bit above her, and those are some of the best
Yeah.
girls to watch just for pure striking and MMA. So I think it'll be good to see how she does against Waterson. Waterson has been on a little surge lately, and I don't think it's wrong for her not to take the fight if Joanna misses weight. A lot of times I think we as professionals and we as fighters, we get dictated by the fans and the MMA community and the companies as we have to do them a service. But at the end of the day, it sucks because once you do that service, it's kind of like, thank you, now fuck you. And then everybody forgets about you. Like they forget what you did for them at
No,
the
it's
end of the
true.
day. So, at the end of the day, I really do understand what Waterson's talking about in not taking a fight. She has to protect her value and her career because that's all she has. If she's not going to throw a bone to Joanna because she can't make weight. So, can't be mad.
Yeah, but the thing about that is she has to pick her poison because now if she doesn't make weight, doesn't take the fight, they're saying that, oh, you don't want to fight here and you're going to ruin the main event. That's going to draw to UFC 244.
Yeah, I mean,
And then that's a hell of a lot, in my opinion, than taking one Joanna.
yeah, I mean,
I don't
there's
want to
so
face
many,
Jessica.
there's different moving parts. And I think if Michelle wants to be smart career wise and you don't, I mean, I would take it. We already did all the hard work. But, at the same time, if she feels
Yeah.
a big way about the weight, then she has to do what her team says and what's best for her. So I think it's a sticky situation. You
Yeah.
never really get that in any other sport where it's like, boxing, you don't see these weight things and football, you don't see, oh, well, our best players in here. We're gonna play you next week or 2 weeks from now. We can't play you right now. So, it's unique to MMA, and it's one of those things she has to talk to her team and really decide from there because it's her livelihood that it depends on. So
Yeah, I mean, I'm not one to really talk. I don't fight. I don't know what it's like to go in there and make weight and then go against didn't make weight and then they have this advantage. She's already bigger as it is, and then you give her another. You give her that added advantage on top of that. So I mean, I can understand why they wouldn't take it, but the the bullshit that the UFC is giving her this ultimatum really kind of sucks for her. It's either you're gonna fight Joanna or you're gonna fight one of the most dangerous women in in MMA in Andrade, and that's kind of fucked up in my
well,
opinion.
I mean,
But
I honestly think Waterson can beat Andrade though.
I don't know, man. You're
As
talking
long
about a former bantamweight who's got the power of a featherweight taking on an atomweight.
no, I hear you.
An
I'm just
atomweight,
saying
sorry, atomweight.
stylistically, if Waterson keeps moving, uses her kicks and everything, doesn't let Andrade close the distance, she can pick her apart. The thing is, once like same thing Rose did until Rose got caught, and it wasn't caught as in a punch. It's like Andrade's just a
No.
tank. You have to run around
Yeah.
and keep shooting it like the final boss in a video game, and as long as it doesn't get to you eventually, then you'll be fine. And I think Michelle has the style to really pick her apart and not get caught by Andrade. So I think I would take Waterson in that upset of Andrade as well.
I don't know, man. I mean, Andrade fucked me against Zhang, so I can't. I have nothing to talk about there. I
I'm
mean,
still mad I missed that one. I'm still kicking myself because that was easy money. I was gonna tell you to put money on that one.
yeah, I fucked up. I mean, like, cause I was all in on Rose. I mean, on Josh beating Rose. So I just kind of went with the flow. It kept going with it, and riding the hype and the momentum of Andrade, and I just got completely overhyped and didn't really give Zhang the credit that she deserved, and she went in there and fucking mopped her ass. She
Yeah, I
mopped her.
mean, the thing is, I think Andrade beats anyone that keeps their feet still.
Yeah.
Anyone that doesn't move. Part, I
I think you're breaking up a
think
little bit
Joanna
there.
would pick her apart again. I don't know.
Yeah, you're like frozen. All right, I don't know. I'm not sure if my pal over here is he's definitely lost some connection there. I'm gonna run down a couple more plays that I really like for UFC Tampa Bay. I know some of you here to listen to me break down some of these fights. I was trying to go over a little bit here, but yeah, like I said, I really like Max Scriven at minus 150. I'm not big on Cub. I'm throwing a unit on there as well, but not really going crazy on that play. But another play I would like to give you guys. I really like Mackenzie Dern. We're getting great value at her on minus 140. She's going against Amanda Ribas. She looked great in her UFC debut against Emily Whitmire, but I mean, there's levels to this shit. I mean, I know people give her shit, give Mackenzie Dern shit for her weight cuts and missing weight cuts and all this, but I think Dern's looked great. I mean, not great. She looked good in her time in the UFC. She outstruck both of her UFC opponents in Ashley Yoder and Amanda Cooper. She was able to drop Cooper and then eventually take her back and choke her out. because Dern has that crazy jiu-jitsu credentials in her back pocket. I don't think if this fight hits the mat, Rivas is definitely in a world of hurt. She's no match on the mat, and I think her striking is going to be good enough to beat Rivas. I mean, Rivas, she doesn't have great striking. She doesn't have great enough striking to really push the pace and really put a hurting on Mackenzie Dern. Where she's going to be walking backwards and she's going to completely pick her apart as well. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Dern had a baby, but I really don't think that's really going to make a difference. Dern she looks like she's in great shape, but she actually might finally make weight. I'm hoping, but I think she has such a major advantage in one area that Rivas is not going to be able to overcome it. I know she doesn't. She's not great at bringing the fight to the mat, but I still think she's gonna get this fight. Hey, there you are.
I'm back. I had to refresh it. I don't know what happened.
It's all good, bro. I was just going over this fight with Mackenzie Dern and Amanda Ribas. Loving Dern in this fight at minus 140. That's looking like fantastic fucking value.
Yeah, I think it's the same thing as when we said earlier with Kron. There's just levels. I'm taking Dern, especially with the added motivation of the baby and having to get that paycheck. So I'm going Dern for sure.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, she does have that added motivation. I've seen a picture. She looks actually in phenomenal shape, surprisingly, after having a baby not too long ago. I think she finally actually may make weight. It looks like she's making weight easier than before, so that's great for her. And I think her striking doesn't get enough credit in her regards. She's looked actually pretty good on the feet. In her time against Amanda Cooper and Ashley Yoder, she outstruck both of them. She actually even dropped Cooper, which led to the submission. So I think she'd be able to hold her own on the feet and eventually take her down and get the submission.
I agree.
And boys like, I loved her and I would cut my leg off to make love to her. That's a little much.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Just a tad bit.
Yeah, just a little bit. What are the good fights? I mean, there are actually a lot of very interesting fights, like Matt Favola versus what the hell is his name? The Valiant Bob Ross.
Luis Pena. That's a good fight.
Luis Pena. Yeah, that's going to be a very interesting fight. I think it's going to be a very grapple heavy fight. A lot of jiu-jitsu for Pena and a lot of grappling for Favola. Yeah, that's going to be very interesting to see. If I had to take a side, I'd probably take dog money on Favola.
I would too.
The dog money on Favola.
I'm not sold on Luis Pena.
Neither am I, especially in the grappling department. I think that's his glaring weakness, big weakness. And then Favola just fought Jalen Turner, who's just as big, actually even bigger than Luis Pena. So he has that fight under his belt against somebody much bigger than him. So I think he should be able to get inside and just absolutely take him down and maul him. That's he's been training jiu-jitsu under Matt Arroyo at Gracie MMA in Tampa. So he's got some good jiu-jitsu behind him. He's been wrestling since high school. He's definitely a much better wrestler than Pena. Pena's got great striking, don't get me wrong. He's got good jiu-jitsu off his back, but I think Favola should be able to take him down and really be heavy on top. And you're getting plus money on a good wrestler against somebody who's notably bad at wrestling. Yeah, I'm good with that. Yeah, you're right. Pena is nice in the clinch, Josh. That's true. He's got some good knees, some good slicing elbows. He's very tough in the clinch, but once he gets around that waist, I think it's all she wrote. He's getting that fight to the mat. Once he locks those hands, the fight's going to the floor. In my opinion.
I agree.
I don't know what else. What else? What else? What other fights that are actually pretty decent? Let me see on this.
Let me see. Let me see. Going down. Did you already talk the Mike Davis while I fell off?
Yeah, I was just about to look at that, and he shot up because he opened as a minus 190, and now he's at minus 260, which is relevant because Mike Davis is levels better than Thomas Gifford.
Yeah.
I'm just way better. I mean, it's night and day. I mean, Gifford really needs to get this fight to the mat if he really thinks he has any ounce of a chance. And mind you, Gifford's a size bigger than Mike Davis in this because Davis is a 45er. But his two fights in the UFC are short notice lightweight fights. So, I mean, the man's got to do what he's got to do. He's got to get in there and he's got to fight. He's got to prove to them, what he's worth. And he's got to definitely get in there and rock this dude. He might even take him out. I think so.
Yeah, no, I think I'll take Mike Davis in that. However, I mean, for that line, I would probably just sit on it.
Yeah, I wouldn't take him on minus 260 either. I threw Davis in a parlay with some others. I forgot who. I think Miguel Baeza and Davison Figueiredo. Just because I think they will win, but I'm not overly confident that I would lay them in straight bets.
Yeah. What about this one? Have you seen this line on Gerald and Eric Anders?
Oh man, that's a very interesting fight. I think I'd go with Anders mainly because he's never lost to a grappler in his UFC tenure. He's fought Rafael Natal,
Yeah.
knocked his ass out. God, there's definitely other grapplers as well. Tim Williams, not a great grappler, but he is a grappler. Knocked him out.
Mm-hmm.
And he has good takedown defense. The only people that were able to really beat Anders are guys that have good stand up, and Mearshart doesn't have enough stand up to really give Anders fits.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
That's a tough. It's funny because I want to go with Michelle, but when you say it like that, it is true. And I'm like, you add in the football background for Anders and just the athletics. I'm just like,
Yeah.
But I'm just not sold. So I think, isn't Michelle the underdog?
Yeah, he is.
I'm gonna put underdog of the week on Michelle. I'm gonna take that.
I mean, it's warranted. I mean, he looked good in his last fight against a good striker, but that was a very odd fight because the striker decided to wrestle the grappler with the jiu-jitsu. It didn't make any sense.
Yeah, no,
at all.
Michelle was definitely losing that fight before he pulled it out a little hat trick on that one.
I don't know. It's just a grapple fest. It made no fucking sense.
No, I mean that was a really weird fight, and the reason I remember it vividly was because I put money on him in Vegas, and I was like, "Michelle, come on!" and I was like sweating bullets, and he pulled it out.
I think he was winning that fight. To be honest with you,
I don't know. I thought he was gonna lose. I thought he was gonna because it was going to decision before the finish. And I was not feeling pretty faithful in that. And then he pulled out the finish, and I was like, "Oof, that was scary."
I was sweating too because I was on the other horrible side. I mean, that dude's cool and that, but I don't know what he was thinking trying to grapple with I was just blaspheming. Like, this dude is so good on the ground, and you're so good on the
He didn't even need to do it either.
There was no need to take this fight to the ground. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm like, no, don't do that. But then again, like I said, I'm not in there. I'm not fighting. It maybe the heat of the moment, just he's like, fuck it. I'm going to go for it.
Yeah.
Maybe that was the game plan all along. I don't know. That's not for me to decide.
Me either.
But I do like the over 1.5 rounds in that Anders Mearshart fight.
Yeah, I would take
Definitely.
that. I like that as well.
I love taking over 1.5 because it's very hard to see if you're not a heavyweight to see someone get knocked out or submitted within 7.5 minutes.
That makes sense.
That's my take on that.
Yeah, no, I like those.
Yeah, I mean, and get your money, and that's why I love MMA because you can win a bet in just 7.5 minutes. That's great. Stuff like that. Or hell, you can bet on Masvidal and win a fight, win your money in 5 seconds.
No, you're right. You're right.
That is why I love this sport. Especially I love betting on it. It's very volatile, but man, when you hit those fights where you bet on Masvidal and he's a plus 250 favorite, underdog, and he wins in 5 seconds, you're like God. It's like this is the greatest day ever.
No, I hear you.
But
that's why I always tell people bet responsibly because it can definitely get addicting, especially if you have like a really good night. You feel on top of the world.
Oh, believe me, I've been there. I've definitely been there. Well, I had a 17 parlay riding on the last guy. I think it was Ray Borg and Demetrius Johnson. I had 6 of 6 with the overs. The last over, Ray Borg got finished so early. I was like, no. Yeah. Oh my god, that cost me $1,000, so I was quite upset.
Oof. Yeah, I mean, it definitely can get addicting. Always only play with what you're comfortable losing. I know for me, there were a few times where I was like, you know what, I'm gonna retire. If I keep doing this, I go through phases where I'm like, man, I'm on top of the world, and then some things where I'm like, why did I make that stupid decision? So, a lot of it's just having fun with it, never getting too high on the high horse, and never getting too low with it.
Yeah, I know you have to bet within your means, and when you're a consistent gambler, you're always wanting to chase your losses, and that's what you can't do. You chase your losses, you put yourself even into a bigger hole, and you're digging yourself into a hole you're never gonna be able to get yourself out of. And then you got someone breaking down your door trying to break your kneecaps for some money that you're not paying.
Yep, that is true. It's true.
So we as a gambler, been there, done that. Had some pretty bad losses, but you roll the punches and then you get back in there and make some more money, and then you just be disciplined. But I'm just gonna recap some of my plays that I kind of give out, just so people at the end can go ahead and listen to it. But I gave out Max Griffin. He's currently at minus 145. Loving that play. Really liking Mackenzie Dern at minus 145 as well. Both of us love James Vick at plus 125 over Nico Price. Loving that. That man's gonna come through. I'm telling you. And like what I was telling some people that I was thinking, like that line makes 0 sense. If you look at it on paper, you have a guy that has 9 wins by knockout. Majority of his wins in the UFC are by knockout. Doesn't go to the decision ever. James Vick is coming off 2 of 3 losses by knockout. But yet the fight is close to a pick'em. Why? If that fight should be, if you're looking at this on paper, you're thinking that Price should probably be like a minus 185 to minus 200 favorite, but now he's minus 145. Doesn't make sense. The public is on Price as well. I think it's 65% of the public is on Price, so that's another indication of like, okay, so the money's on Vic, but the public's on price. So that makes me seem that the sharp money is on Vic at plus money versus people are taking price here. That's how I'm kind of seeing it. And that's kind of why I'm kind of holding back taking price. And I might just take a unit and place it on James Victor at plus money, where I really do think he's the better striker and he could probably pull it through as long as he just doesn't get caught. As long as he doesn't get caught, he's good.
Yep,
But yeah,
100%.
yeah. So that's our play there. I think that's definitely our consensus play right there. Vic at plus 125. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much wrapping it up here this week. I will be away for the next 2 weeks. I will be in Vancouver, Canada, so I'm taking this show on the road. So I will be in my hotel suite over there, going live next Thursday. Meet us there. Yeah, let everybody know, where they can find you, and if you want to shout out anything, just yeah, the floor is yours, my dude.
All right. Yep. Always follow me at Why So Serious and Instagram and Twitter. I post a little funny stuff. A lot of funny stuff on my stories, so follow me. Outside of that, you can always find me on Facebook at Peter Petty's. Speaking on that, I'll also be out of country next week. I'll be in Cancun, Mexico next week. So.
Oh snap! So maybe I might go solo because I don't want to bother you on your little vacation there. I might go a
I
little
don't know.
solo next week.
I'm
So
getting forced to come, so I'll be here. We'll be here. Just hit me up.
all right, I got you. We'll work that through. But yeah, I mean, that's what we got for you guys. You guys can also follow me on Twitter at Fight Analysts. You subscribe to this page, like it, comment on this, and you know, and follow me on Facebook. You can add me, Garrett Kerman. That's my actual name, hence the GK part. You can add me on Facebook. You can find Fight Analyst on Facebook as well. So yeah, hit us up. We can talk MMA all day. I can give out advice as anything. Also, if you guys want the full my card, well, I was actually kicking some ass last weekend on Israel Adesanya, 5 unit banger, Dan Hooker, 3.5 unit banger, Brad Riddell, 3.5 unit banger, and the parlay at plus 365. All that money in the bank. You guys can just hit me up. The full card's only $25. And let's get this money, man. We will see you guys next week. Later. Adios. We're out this.